Let's wait and see if we get some people in here. Looks like we got Jimmy Crow, 520. If you can hear me, let me know in the chat. All right, thanks, Jimmy, for letting me know. Just want to make sure this audio is working. I'm going to split some wood real quick here for this fire. Starting to go down. Did want to say good afternoon to anyone tuning in. Let me know where you're from. Hear you loud and clear. Thank you, Pastor TLC1. Jimmy, Mid-State, Indiana. Oh, awesome. How's the weather over there, Jimmy? Pastors from South Carolina. Oh, you're right below me, buddy. I'm right here close to Charlotte, North Carolina. Just splitting some firewood here. Oh, this afternoon. I got up with my son earlier. Give a couple minutes here for people to start joining in. Mid-State Indiana getting better. Oh, awesome. It's good to hear, Jimmy. Pastor, I'm about an hour from you. So you know all the great hiking spots around here. I've been to a couple in South Carolina. It's been years since I've last been down to South Carolina. Gosh, I'm trying to think of some of the trails down there off the top of my head, just north of Charlotte, close to the other side of Concord. What have y'all gotten into for New Year's so far this year? Have you done any hikes, gotten outdoors, done any camping? Oh, I'm gonna keep splitting wood here. See here, where can I stick this guy? Got a new tent for Christmas. What tent did you get? Is it something somebody ordered for you, or did you pick it up yourself? Pastor TLC1. Jimmy, I really love your questions on your shorts. Thanks, buddy. A lot of those, the gems on those questions are in the comments. And I post a ton of those videos, not to just drive engagement, because that's important for the channel, but to use it as a learning platform, right? Because all of us, we need to hone in on a lot of these questions and really try to help each other out in the comments. And one way to do that is to read through the comments and actually spend time reading through them. That's where the pearls are at. Some of it seems like common sense, but there's a lot of people who have questions, believe it or not, that just, you know, they're just getting started in this. And to be fair to everyone and to make sure that we're all a part of a growing community, you know, we need to be respectful of everybody. And so that's one of the reasons why I post those questions, is so that everybody can learn, no matter where you're at as far as, you know, spending time in the great outdoors. I did get a new tent for Christmas. Hello, love Shays Loco. Where are you from? Love Shays Loco. Let me know where you're from and what the weather's like where you're at. And let me know what you got uh, or what you're getting into for the New Year's. If you're getting into any camping or getting outdoors on any hikes. We should pass on information to others. I do. Absolutely. Absolutely. I cannot stress that enough. I know a lot of people don't like the question videos. I get tons of comments of people that are just bored with it, but I often question, you know, how often do they get outside and really hone in on their skills and their abilities. But yeah, I camp at reenactments about 5 minutes or 5 times a year. Did one in North Carolina earlier this year. Jimmy, where was that at? 5 times a year, did one in North Carolina earlier this year. Where was that at in North Carolina? I know there's a lot of places around here that do those. I've been interested in going to a couple of them, but I don't know where they're at. Pastor, wife gave me the Gazelle T4. Awesome. Very cool. I'm trying to remember that one off the top of my head. How many people does that sleep? Is that just a 2-person or is that a 4 or 6-person? I can't remember. I will look it up, Jimmy. Thanks, Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy, just shoot me an email. My email is my first name, Justin, Justin, my middle name, Uriah, Urih, photo, PHOTO at gmail.com. And if you get a chance, 4-person. That's awesome. Out of Fairbanks, Alaska. 41 cold. Negative 41 cold. Okay, yeah, that's a big difference. Negative 41. Yeah, that's pretty cold. I'm out here by the bonfire. Well, I've got a solo stove that I'm using that I picked up about mid last year. I've been wanting to try it. This is the bonfire edition. It's just not big enough. That's the only thing about solo stove is you really need to get the biggest one that you can afford because the heat, it blocks a lot of the radiant heat except for what's coming out of the top. Let me see if I can zoom out here a little bit on my camera. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So like from here up, I get a ton of radiant heat, but from here to all the way to the ground is nothing. I almost feel like I could touch that with my hand. So that's the problem. You get just this much heat, and they have this reflector here that is supposed to reflect that radiant heat back down towards your feet, which it does work. It's way better than just leaving it off, but you don't get a ton of heat off of this. And so once this dies down over the lip here, if you don't keep it stoked up and topped off like this, there's just no heat coming out here and you freeze to death. So they're great, but they're not great. A traditional bonfire is going to be better. You get that radiant heat from the top all the way down to the ground. We're in a burn ban here in North Carolina, so that's why I have to use the solo stove this evening. I'll look it up. 4-person Fairbanks. How are you liking the Les Stroud field knife? I like it. I actually have it with me. Let me see here if I can grab it out of my pack. Yeah, I got mine with me today. Let's see here if I can get you turned around. Get smoked out of here. Yeah, here's my version. I have used this thing in the rain pretty much. Gosh, I want to say like 3 or 4 days a week I'm using this knife. And so this leather, it's really taken a toll on the leather. I got it too close to a fire and left it there by accident one year. It's pretty crispy. Other than that, the leather's held up. One of my favorite knives, it patinas well. I do carry that quite often just because it works so well, so versatile here in the outdoors. I love the clip point blade on this. I'm trying to remember the steel on this. Let's see here. Is it A2 steel? I believe it's A2 steel. But they did a good job. Les Stroud did a great job working with LT Wright on this. I've used a lot of knives. PKS Knives, Pathfinder Knife Shop, Dave Canterbury's outfit. They make excellent knives too for the price point. I just really like the LT Wright knives. They're just, it's just the way they fit in my hands. And they're just a top-notch, top-shelf knife. Bentonville, North Carolina. Okay, I'll look that up, Jimmy. Thank you. I have the small one, person one, if you trust your rock finding and have a pot holder stand for it. Oh, the smaller solar stave. Okay, love Shays. I got you. Yeah, the gosh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've got that one too. It works great. Let's see, makes great knives. Mine are A2. Okay. Yeah, the A2 steel is just great for bushcrafting and getting outdoors. I'm a big fan of LT Wright knives and have quite a few. Yeah, they're hard to get away from. I try to sometimes go out and try a new knife, and it's just like, there's a lot of great companies out there. I'm gonna chop some more wood real quick, guys and gals. But I keep coming back to those handcrafted knives. There's just something about them that it's hard to get away from. I'm gonna split some more wood here. I apologize for the noise. Let me know in the comments what your favorite time of year is to get outdoors. Mine is the winter time, just because I'm not sweating to death out here. And let me know what you like to do. Are you more hiking, camping? You like to cook outdoors? Tell me, some of your interests here in the outdoors. All right, let me get this fire here cranked up. All right. Whew. This thing's about maxed out right now. Yeah, I better wait on that. Well, I'll get this smaller one in there. Oh boy, it's chilly out here. Let's see what it says. It is 43 degrees here in North Carolina, where I'm at, Central North Carolina. I have a Smith & Wesson knife. Alice people. Hi, Alice. Thanks for joining. Smith & Wesson knife, not a survival knife, but I love it. That's all that matters, is that it works for you. I've got some knives I picked up at a flea market a long time ago, and those are some of my favorite knives. They've got a lot of sentimental value to them as well. So let's see here. Wood chopping isn't noise, it's music. The colder, the better. Yeah. Negative 41, I imagine so. I don't even know how you would chop wood in that kind of temperature. The coldest I've ever been in is right around 0, and I was done. Oh man, I love mountain biking, Alice people. I love mountain biking too. I've got here in North Carolina towards the Brevard area, we've got Pisgah National Forest, and we've got Triple Falls and a couple other places in DuPont State Park. And I've got a giant Trans X extra large. I'm 6'3", and it's got full front Fox fork, full suspension, and I ride all the time. So let me know what bike you ride there, Alice people. What you got? What trails? What state you're from? Wood chopping is it? Yeah, yeah. Pastor, I love the fall camping and cooking. Nothing is better to me than a meal cooked outside. I also love to fly fish. Oh yeah, fly fishing. We do some of that up in DuPont. A friend of mine just got back from Alaska, and he took a 10-day trip up there, and did some fishing too. Yeah, exactly. My first two good knife rules: a sharp knife and a good hand feel is a happy knife safe. Yep. Yep. Got to have the knife sharp. I've made that mistake before. Early on. Yeah, I've got some other knives. What else did I bring with me today? I'm trying to think what I've got out here with me. What is this one? Okay, so in my pack, I've also got a next gen. Let me see here. I don't know if you can see this or not. This is the sheath for it. A little smaller knife compared to the Les Stroud or the Gen 3. This is one of my favorites. I can carry this pretty much every day, anywhere. A2 steel. Great spear point here. It's great for drilling notches or holes and making notches. There's all kind of things you can do with this knife. You've got the micarta handles, nice brass pins on it. I've put a little bit of leather here, give it a little bit of better grip on it from time to time. Sometimes you can bring your hand out a little further and get a little bit more of a chopping action with it like that. Overall, a good knife. I've had this one for quite a while. The only thing I would like to see them do is bring this back just a little bit to give me a little bit more blade here. A lot of times if you're chopping an apple or something, this will kind of mash down into the side wall of the apple or whatever it is that you're cutting. It would be nice to have that ground back a little bit further. Sheath is excellent on this. Some of the best sheaths that I've ever used are by these guys. Trying to think of the name. It's not Badger Claw, but LT usually ships one of these sheaths with their knives. Next gens are sweet. I have one in flat grind and one in Scandi. Oh, you've got one in Scandi. I could never get my hands on one in a Scandi. I've tried, and I can't find them anywhere. I know LT could probably send me one, but I've never been able to find one in person. I try to buy them in person when I can at different trade shows and stuff. Oh yeah, and I've got what else have I got with me here? This is in the bottom of my pack. This is the Gen 3. I don't know if you can see this or not. Fairly large. Let me get that. I'll try to do a comparison. Here's a next gen compared to the Gen 3. Way different in size. That one's gotten toasty as well. Here's the less Stroud beside the Gen Gen 3 there. If I could only pick one knife, it would be this one, primarily because you can do pretty much anything with this that needs to get done out in the woods. Extremely great steel. This is 02 steel, so, or 01. I can't remember which one this is, but because they make so many different knives out of so many different various steels, it's hard to keep track of it. But a spear point, great micarta handles, again brass pins, nicely balanced. Super great at doing some kind of like mild chopping. Yeah, one of my favorites for sure. I like the sheaths because you can put a little, I just put a little rubber band around this to keep the ferro rod from falling out. Some of my favorites. Happy New Year, Mr. Anthony. Good to see you join in the chat here. Happy New Year. I'm so glad I was able to get in with you after our scout meeting. Hey, buddy, how's it going? How's the weather where you're at? Have you been able to get back out with the scouts lately? See if I can pan this camera around a little bit better for you guys here. Yeah, let me know what you guys like to do in the outdoors. If you're in the shelter building, water purification, those types of things. I recently got hooked up with the Grails and I bought some of those and had those sent over to try out. I ended up picking up their, what was it? The titanium version. It's the black PVD coated one. And man, that thing is a tank. I have thrown it in the fire and everything, and it just continues to work. Not too bad. It's been in the 60s. Just did winter camping last week of 2025. I was teaching wilderness survival. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So good to hear, buddy. Yeah, I need to get out and spend some more time in the area. We've got a lot of places to scout out around here. I was looking at I did a New Year's Eve or a New Year's Day hike at our local state park. They do a traditional New Year's Day hike. And so I went down to that, and they had probably 200 or 300 people. It was a great little get together. Got to meet some really awesome people that are into the outdoors. They enjoy getting outside, going for hikes. I'd like to put something together and get people involved. A hike or something someday down the road, hopefully sometime this year. Put together one or two of those. I was going to make my way down to the, here we go. Got to use my hot tent with the fireplace. Awesome. Jimmy Crow, 520, I need to go. So everyone stay safe and have a fantastic week. Jimmy, thanks for stopping by, buddy. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, my friend. And have a great week. Come back and see us soon. Be a part of the community here. Appreciate you, sir. But yeah, getting something set up where we can do like a meet and greet or something one day do like a camp out somewhere at a state park. I think that would be probably the best option. And just bring everybody kind of together and have a good time. Maybe have a big cookout or something. Do you ever get over the Georgia Bushcraft? So, Pastor TLC, I was going to be there for the fall outing. Everything was lined up. One of the reasons why I didn't mention anything on YouTube about it is because my wife and I just had our fourth child, and it was really close to that week, her due date. And so I had gone and gotten everything finalized, and we were good to go. It was just a matter of waiting up to that day and seeing and how she felt. And as we got closer, I had to cancel it last minute just because of that. I didn't want to be 3.5 hours away. And she gave me a phone call saying, hey, we're at the hospital. So it was a hard decision, but obviously family comes first. And so, especially for an occasion like that, I wanted to be here. And so we had a little son. We had 2 girls, 2 sons. This is our, named this one Matthew Johnson. So, but Georgia Bushcraft, yeah, that would be a great time. There's a lot of great vendors over there. I know LT Wright and his crew are there. I know Dave Canterbury and their crew were there at the fall. I would have loved to have been there for that. That would have been a real treat to possibly get to meet up with Dave and his crew. Great guys, solid group of people. I love the Self-Reliance Outfitter, the survival gear, the equipment. Everything that I've bought from those guys has been 100% top notch, and they make some really good equipment. They put a lot of thought into it, a lot of testing, and so you can never go wrong with the Self-Reliance Outfitters. Highly recommend their equipment. I think just about everybody has at least one of their bush pots. Good stuff. I keep trying to get some of their foraging items off their website, and they're always out of stock. And that's because these things they fly off the shelf as fast as they can make them. People are buying them. They're just that good. So, but he's got some foraging items that I'd like to pick up. Some of the cooking pieces of iron and stuff like that they've got. I can't remember the name for them. They've got some that you can cook squirrel and stuff like that on too. So rabbit. I'm going to have to attempt to make fun of what we got here. Congratulations. Thanks, Anthony. I appreciate that, sir. And scouts. Do you ever go over the bush? Yeah, I would love to get together with the scouts. Backpacking trip last weekend of this month. Yeah, January and February for me right now are slammed. When I started my channel back in 2010, hence the name for the channel is I go by my first and last name, Justin Johnson. My YouTube handle, Justin Uriah Photo. When I first started this channel back in 2010, I did a lot of photo outdoor stuff, and I just didn't ever pursue it. And then 2 years ago, decided to try the channel again and do nothing but outdoor content. And so my handle had to stay the same. I couldn't change my Gmail address there. But I had to use my middle name, Justin Uriah, because Justin Johnson back in 2010 got snatched up quick on YouTube or Google. That was your Gmail address. And so I just went with my middle name. That's why there's a little bit of confusion there with that. But yeah, I'd love to get together. But yeah, January, like I was saying, January, February, I do a ton of video content. That's kind of one of my primary jobs. And I shoot a lot of video content for different companies, and that's how I get paid. That's how I make a living, is through my video production company that I run. And so a lot of people say on YouTube, hey, this looks like AI, your videos look great. Well, that's because I'm shooting on, $20,000 camera gear and lighting and all this other stuff, audio. And so that's why the videos come out like they come out. Let's see here. I would love to get together. Yep. Congratulations on childbirth. I'm going to have to attempt to make a function Rambo style knife. The last knife you showed blade and forge pipe with would be the hard one. Yeah, I love Shay's Loco uh, functioning Rambo style knife. If you ever do that, let me know how that turned out. Please send me a message. Pastor TLC, you made the right decision on that one. Congratulations. Thank you. It was a good one. I have been for the past 5 years and got to take one of Dave's classes. He is a great guy, or a neat guy. Yeah, Dave's awesome. He is a wealth of information. He's one of those guys that I could sit down and just listen to for days and days and days, and I would never ask the first question. I just let him talk and just sit and just listen and be a part of that conversation. That's the kind of guy Dave is. He's just fun to watch. I often think if he had a lot of the equipment that I've got as far as camera gear, lighting, and audio, his videos, and I'm not knocking his videos are great, but I know he uses a cell phone, and a lot of times not everybody is into the video stuff. But if he had the gear that I have, his channel would would explode. It'd be huge. Which it's big as it is, but it could just be way bigger if we could get him on board with some better visuals and audio. But yeah, great guy. I would listen to him for days, just sit down and listen to him. Let's see here. Pastor, let me know what class you went to that he taught, and let me know kind of some talking points and some things that you took away from that class. I'm definitely interested in hearing about it. His squirrel cooker sells out about as fast as they come in. Yeah. I bought their Mountaineer, the PKS Mountaineer, and literally I got on there one day and it was gone within just a couple hours. They were sold out, and I finally was able to get one. And that knife stays in my backpack most of the time, but I try not to take it to places where I could potentially lose it, because it's so hard to get more of those knives. And so a lot of his knives that I've got, the PKS knives, I've still got the Scorpion XL. I use it sometimes, but I just would hate to lose it, because getting my hands back on one would be kind of tough. But excellent knives. I'll be passing those down to my children one day. Let's see here what we got. Yeah, working on AutoCAD while listening. Oh gosh. To design. Love Shay, what type of stuff do you design? What are you into? Anthony, I will email you and we can start conversing like we did. Yeah, buddy. I get so many emails every day. I get so swamped with them. I told my wife, I said, we've got to figure out a way to get a handle on these emails, because there's just so many that come in. And I miss a bunch of them. PKS Mountaineer is the one I have, and I love it. Yeah. The PKS Mountaineer is a great knife. One of my favorites. I've used that knife so many times. It's a baton just hammered through wood. That thing will just power through wood, no problem. Great steel, great handle on it. Like I said, Dave and his crew, they do a wonderful job on all of their gear. Get a little bit more wood in this fire pit here. Anthony, what did y'all do for New Year's? Did y'all have family come in, or did y'all have a big celebration or anything? So the class I took was surviving on the water's edge. Oh, so you probably did the frog gigging and stuff. Those are interesting classes that Dave teaches. He'll literally get down into the water and go after stuff. What did you think about it, Pastor TLC1? Did you, what were some of the takeaways that you got from that class? I'm going to chop some more wood, guys. I'm getting low. Guys and gals. I've got some oak that's been laying around, and I let it season for a little bit. And I've got some red, and I've got some cherry out here. Oh, that one was a knot. Try to get in. This is the first live stream I've ever done, so just trying to get a feel for this. May start having these a little more often in the winter. We'll see. All right. Let's see here. For anybody that's just joined, Happy New Year. Let's see what we've got going on here. FRS Survival T2I. Hey, my friend. Yes, I'm really here. Medicated OMO. How's it going, my friend? Thanks for tuning in here. KRF Survival. Doing well, buddy. Seasoned wood is the best. Yes, absolutely. I'm on the solo stove here, so we're in a burn ban here in North Carolina, and so I can't create a fire on the ground. I could. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, but last thing I want to do is have to call the fire department. So we will keep it safe. Keep it safe. And I do have a fire extinguisher not far from here, so seasoned wood is the best. My son and I got back from winter camp in Charleston area. When we got home, just got together with family for dinner and counted down the New Year. Awesome. The best times with family. The best time is with family. Glad to hear that, buddy. Love Shays Loco. LOL, it's for custom casting parts for discontinued parts. It works handy for designing stuff. Nice. On blacksmithing, which pays for itself. Nice. What type of blacksmithing do you do as far as what all do you make? I know you're far away, but if you've got a website or something, you can plug that in here. If you sell stuff, might pick up something and show it on the channel here. Medicated. I have a JW Bugden Custom I bought in 1991. Still carry it daily. D2 and razor sharp. Yeah, D2 is a great steel. Found another on eBay for $450. I paid $70. Wow. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. I thought you did one about 6 months ago. The one that was uploaded 6 months ago was it wasn't a live stream. It was like a what is it, like a live preview or something where you can, a premiere. That's what it was, a premiere. So it's pre-recorded, but it just shows up like a live stream. Have you ever used the Moore Garber? Yes, Moore Garber, highly recommend. Excellent knife. I have, my goodness, I think all the different colors over the years, some of the newer ones. They just released their newest color. It's like a red and like a creamish color, red and cream. I can't remember the name of it. It came out the other day. It's for 2026. Yeah, the Garberg is nice. Full tang, that's what you want out here. Full tang is great. Hey, Mandy Lee Rain. Thanks for joining Base Camp. It's good to see you. Glad to have you in the chat this afternoon. Let me know where you're from, Mandy, and what the weather's like there today, and if you did anything for New Year's. Hey. Yeah, I'm going to try to do more of these live streams here more often in the wintertime. I always like gathering around a fire like this, and so we can just talk shop, knives, outdoor stuff, tents, survival, you name it, water purification. Hopefully we can get into some of that. I can do some daytime stuff too. Really, the sky's the limit on this one, guys and gals. So if you have any recommendations, let me know in chat what you'd like to see on some of these live streams. Mandy Lee, KR Survival. I just got the carbon one. Yeah, the carbon one is excellent. You can't go wrong with that. You cannot go wrong with that one. Mandy Lee, Washington, rainy, and I slept. Oh, goodness. Yeah, that's about all you can do when it's raining. Although I do like to throw on a poncho and go for hikes in the rain. A lot of times the state parks are shut down, but sometimes you can catch them open. Some of the horse trails are open, and they'll allow you to go on those. I hate getting stuck inside with the survival sheath. Yeah, got to have the survival sheath with it. A good quality sheath is going to be important. You know, Kydex works great. I tend to, like I said, I've got the leather because with this, you can actually get a little bit of stropping done. So on your blade here, if this was all Kydex, there's really nowhere to sharpen your knife. So, if, you know, as a last ditch effort, you could use just about anywhere on this leather sheath as a strop. And Kydex could be used as a strop in a sense, but it's nothing like leather. So. I usually hike waterfalls. It's been flooding. Anthony, these are a few of my favorite things. Yeah. I usually hike waterfalls. What waterfalls, Mandy, are up in Washington? Are there any waterfalls up there that we would be familiar with? Love Shay's Loco. It's mostly word of mouth with really old stuff, like my namesake when I visited Cass, West Virginia, the first time in the 2010s, if I remember right. Made them a bunch of brackets. Okay. The CNC lathes couldn't do. Gotcha. The rainforest sold. Okay. I've been up in that area. I'm trying to think, Mandy, where that would be at. Here in Texas, we had a 75-degree Christmas. Didn't feel much like Christmas, did it? Oh, man. We used to get snow here in Carolina quite a bit. I mean, it'd be 12 inches of snow, but those days are gone right now. Maybe we'll get one again down the road, but who knows? Quality Falls. I'm trying to think where that would be at. Twin Falls or Victor Falls. Yeah, those sound familiar for sure. For sure. I actually think I've been through that area before, once or twice. I think twice for sure. Not so fast, can't beat it. So many this last summer. Yeah. Yeah, we've got a ton here. We got Triple Falls in North Carolina. It's literally they filmed the Hunger Games here in North Carolina, the movie. I have a lot of friends in the videography business, and they do a lot of DP and movie stuff around here, lighting and gaffing and stuff like that. And so they shot Hunger Games up here at Triple Falls in North Carolina, over toward DuPont and Brevard. And so I know all about the waterfalls situation. We love your videos. Thank you, Mandy. I greatly appreciate that. I really am just trying to build a community of people here, and that's really what it's all about. This is not about me. This is about you guys and everybody learning, new skills, new things, mindsets, and going into the outdoors. And really just to get everybody interested in getting outdoors. 2026 here, I know we get trapped in work and get stuck on our phones a lot. It's just so important to get outside and take in the fresh air and enjoy nature. So that's really all I try to do, is encourage people to get outdoors. I do that any way that I can. Some of the videos might be a little far-fetched, but again, it's just something fun, humorous, to get you to laugh and just enjoy your time, maybe at the office or something, trying to get you through a day. Anthony, if that cider went hard, I'll take a splash and some. I didn't know that about Hunger Games. Yeah, there's a lot of films that are filmed here in North Carolina. Back in the early 2000s, I'm trying to think. I worked in a lot of different production sets. So they filmed movies like The Patriot in South Carolina, Upper South Carolina, and some in North Carolina. Mel Gibson, that movie was filmed close to here. I was down on that movie set about every day for a couple months. And that was an interesting job down there. Black Dog was filmed in Charlotte, I guess in the late 90s, with Patrick Swayze and a couple other guys. I was there for that, doing video and photo work on those films. I didn't know that about Hunger Games. What tent do you recommend for bushcraft? So tents. If I talk for a moment about tents, I would recommend something that is going to be a little bit smaller than your average size tent. The reason why I say that is because if you're trying to keep it warm in the wintertime, especially, heating a larger tent is going to be extremely hard to do. Even building shelters in the outdoors, you're not going to want to build a ginormous shelter around you where air can come in and just take away all the heat that you've got left, especially if you've got a fire going. Convection is a real thing, and it'll quickly zap all the heat out of you. And so, smelling something burning here. I'm making sure my clothes aren't on fire. This thing took off over here. So yeah, a smaller tent. I really like the 1-person, 2-person tents for camping. If it's just going to be me, I don't need a 4-person, 5-person tent, because then I've got to heat it. So as far as names are concerned, there's a lot of great companies out there. I'm trying to think any off the top of my head. Mountain Smith made a tent that I absolutely have used at least 200 or 300 times camping. The Mountain Smith, I can't remember the name of it. It's a 2-person. It's a 2-person tent made by Mountain Smith. But that thing, it had a floor to it that you could put down, and then the actual tent itself. So, and it's super lightweight, super easy to put up and take down, no problems, and one of my favorite ones. Let's see here. What tent you? They shot Twilight near sold. Yeah, yeah. Twilight. That one was. That's a huge movie for sure. Anthony, anything you like, just be and enjoy. Greer, South Carolina. Here. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people that are on the channel are from South Carolina. So I know Such. Does anybody here watch Such channels? Don, I've met Don a couple times. I used to do some work for a company called Olight years ago, and I did some videos for those guys and their flashlights. And Don's a big supporter of Olight, and so we got to meet up in Virginia. I think it was in 2023 or 2024. Great guy, super great guy. I would be more into that genre here on the channel, but I know a lot of that stuff gets shut down. So you get, you lose your status on YouTube. So I decided early on not to go that route. That's a whole nother story in itself. I lived in Rock Hill when Patriot was filmed. Awesome. Part of it was filmed across from where I lived. Well, then I was not far from you, Pastor TLC1. That's awesome. What's your main knife? Main knife. So JPD288, welcome to the chat. Thanks for tuning into the video. Let me know where you're from there, JPD, and what you did for New Year's. My main knife, I've got too many. If I could only pick one knife out of all the knives, it would be this particular one. This is the LT Wright Gen 3. It's almost 12 inches in length. Believe it's 01 tool steel. Spear point, so it's great for doing work, especially out in the bush. My Carta handles, brass pinned. Those are fairly good sized brass pins as well. Lanyard hole here, and the ergonomics of the handle is like almost like a broomstick. Works great. Locks up. You've got some thumb scallops right here in the handle as well. So these thumb scallops allow you to do some fine tasks. You can really get in there and work with this guy. So super thick steel, nice razor, sharp point there, tip on the end of it. One of my favorites. That's the LT Wright Gen 3. It's hard to find these in stock because they sell out so quickly. One of my favorites. Back up here a little bit on this guy. It's getting a little warm over here. Let's see here. I live in Rock Hill. Yep. Shelter is one of the things I taught the scouts at camp. They made a nice, I'm trying to read my tablet over here. They made a nice group size shelter for 5 to 7 people using a tree that fell in the root end as a windbreak. Excellent, excellent. That hike I went on the other day for New Year's Day. When I go on these hikes, I try to keep my mind pretty keen on this stuff. And there was a ton of trees that had fallen over. The main thing you've got to be careful with on trees like that is obviously the pitch of that root ball. Is it past the point of where it could tip back over? Also, is the tree still attached to it? Is it rotted? Is the tree rotted out? Because if you tried to use that as a windbreak and you camped out there, if something happened, that thing flipped back over on you, you're toast. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. But yeah, those root balls, some of those are massive on some of those tree roots, some of those big oaks. Man, I'm 6'3", and those things are taller than I am sometimes. Let's see here. I met Don at Georgia Bushcraft this year. Yeah, Don was over there. Great guy. Great guy. Great guy. That is exactly the things I went over about building a shelter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can make things work for you. They can work quickly against you too. You have to be careful. shelter building is one of those things that you can never be too tedious, and really you've got to be extremely careful with that, because that can ruin you really fast. Especially the group of young kids too. That stuff is. Get these guys set up back in here, starting to fall on the ground. Do not want to have to get the fire extinguisher. Love Shade Loco, my favorite tent shelter I got from my grandpa, who got it from the military with permission when they were clearing stuff out. 4-person sleeping bags, thick canvas. He had my grandpa. Yeah. Most of those thick canvas tents are hard to come by anymore that do not cost an arm and a leg. I'm a huge fan of spring bar tents. I like the materials they made out of. Some of them, like the Skyliner, is made here in the USA, and they're going to be pricey though, but they're going to last you a generation or two, no problem. No problem at all. Canvas tents is where it's at. If you've got the space for it and you're able to carry it. Most canvas tents are so heavy. That Skyliner that I've got from Spring Bar, there's no way you're carrying that tent and all the supports and things like that for it to a campsite. It's definitely, or to like a primitive campsite. So something that's, a quarter mile, a mile away. There's just no way. You'd have to put it on a cart. It's just so heavy. But if you're doing like car camping, truck camping, yeah, that Skyliner, if you got a way, especially with it being a hot tent, I use that Woodlander stove. If you can heat that guy, because it's massive inside, then you can have a great time camping for sure. For sure. Patches on to make smaller. Okay. Use what you can, but make sure it's safe. Yep. Yeah, one of my mottos is to double check and triple check everything. For anyone tuning in, Happy New Year. Let me know where you're from. I see a couple of people are starting to pop in here. We're right at 1 hour. Let's see here. Yep. But let me know in the chat some things you might be interested in on some of these live streams, maybe some demonstrations and stuff. I know a lot of people have been asking recently about the Grails and water purification. That's a huge thing. There's a lot of different companies out there that sell. I'm trying to think of some of the names of them off the top of my head. You've got the Life Straw, which filters water, but it does not purify water. You've got the Sawyer Life Straw. I'm sitting here trying to get these wheels turning on this. I think it's the Sawyer Life Straw or the Sawyer Straw. It is a filter, not a purification method. And a lot of people get those things confused. And it's easy to spend, I guess those Life Straws are like $20 to grab one of those and throw it in a backpack and think you're safe. But you can easily get viruses and pick up a whole host of bad things that are going to do extremely bad things to your body, especially your digestive system, really quickly. So highly recommend the Grail. They are the only ones that I have found that just work. I think this year in 2026, they redesigned their bottles in a couple different ways to make them a little easier to work with, getting in and out of a pack. But Grail is where it's at. I would grab at least one or two. 2 is one is none type of mentality. And grab a couple spare filters. and really you're going to be set. If you're going on a big expedition, a long hike, you're going to be gone for even all day. Take one with you for sure, especially if you're going around waterfalls. Mandy, I know you said you like the waterfalls and stuff. Make it safe. That's the canvas parts. Can't tell you who made one. Patches is covering, but guessing manufacture date 1941. Wow. Yeah, if you've got anything like that, hold on to that as long as you can. Those things are invaluable to have because you're just not going to get that kind of quality very often anymore. It's just really hard to find that kind of. We got a lot of guys out here with Jeeps that go flying up and down this road out here. So I apologize for the noise, but yeah, if you can find that kind of equipment from that date range, some of those things are just built like tanks. Let me split some more wood here. I'm using an old Fisker's axe to chop this wood, and I cannot believe how well it does still to this day. All right. Yeah, if you've got a favorite park or anything that you like to camp at, type it in the chat and let me know where that one of your favorite spots are. We got a couple of places here in North Carolina, Stone Mountain State Park up toward, where is that? Is that Roaring Gap? I think. I go up there probably at least once a month. At least once a month. I go down to Mora Mountain State Park quite a bit here in North Carolina. And then Pilot Mountain. I totally agree, just my grands. If I'm tested in my backyard with it. Last year it was 40 in the tent. Yep. Yeah, you're just not going to find stuff like that today that you're not spending $3,000 and $4,000 on. So hold on to those. Those are prized possessions. Family heirlooms for sure. I came across an old Coleman lantern a couple years ago that I still have. I got it hanging up over here. Let me grab it real quick. Let's see here. I can grab this guy. And this guy here uses the mantles. This is how old this is. Oh, I don't know if you can see this or not. Let me back up here a little bit on the. This guy is old, and the date on it is 9 of 76, so 1976 is the date on this one. But I've got to clean it up. The primer there is the leather on the inside of it's got to be rehydrated. It's toast. I've got to reinstall the mantles, get some new ones and put on there. There's a little, this is kind of like a cleaning method here. This is bent, but I found this at a yard sale, and they basically just gave it away. They didn't know what to do with it, so I said, well, I will take good care of it for you. And so I need to get this. This is a little project I want to do here soon. These old Coleman lamps. Again, this one's 1976, made in America, made in the USA. So not super hard to find, but not easy to find either. My test ground is, Anthony. The bee-free water filter is the one I like. I have an old Coleman lantern from when I was in Scouts in the early 90s. Awesome. Yeah, I'll have to check out that bee-free water filter. I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it. I'd have to look it up for sure. I have one of those that I bought new many years ago. The generator in mine is messed up. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen with this one. I've got to replace the generator too. I think Coleman has a spare parts site somewhere, Pastor TLC1, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. I'm going to try to test one thing at a time and see if I can even get it working, and just kind of go from there. So, but yeah, all original parts on this from what I can tell. Really neat find. What was that they wrote back there? Yeah. KLM befriend is the filter. Yeah, kid. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've heard of that for sure. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of great companies out there. You just really have to be very specific and knowing exactly what it is you need. The last thing you want to do is get out there and it not perform the way you want it to perform or do what you need it to do, and it's too late. I always carry a what is it? A Garmin InReach. I've got a Mini 2, I think it is. They come out with a Mini 3 recently, but I always carry that with me everywhere I go, just in case. I did get the SAR plan with it. I think it's extra $40 or $50 a year, but it's supposed to cover the cost, I guess, if they have to fly you out of there in a helicopter or something. You can bypass that $100,000 bill. But definitely recommend the SAR plan if you have a Garmin InReach. It's only a couple dollars more. It's only good for the person whose name is on the plan. So I believe you'd have to get multiple plans to be able to cover your family. Probably would be worth it. Still learning my Garmin 67S. Yeah, Garmin's definitely one of my favorites. There's a couple other brands out there. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but there's some great brands out there right now with the satellite communicators. For sure. for sure. Let's see, how many people have we got in here right now? We've got a couple on the live. So we'll take about 5 more minutes here, and let's see, what time is it right now? It's 8:30 p.m. where I'm at here, Eastern time. About 5 more minutes, and we'll try to schedule another one of these sometime soon when I can get back out here and do this. But let me know before, what's your favorite fire starter to use? Well, it depends on the day, time, and place. If I'm in a hurry, time wise, then obviously just something real quick that's already kind of impregnated with some type of a fire accelerant. I know there's some of those brands out there. SRO, Dave Canterbury's outfit, they hooked up with a company that make them. I can't remember the name of them. But basically, it's just like a round little disc. You can break up the fibrous material and just put a lighter to it, and it will instantly light. Those work good. There's some kind of Inferno. That's the name. Inferno something. I can't remember. But those work good. You can get those on the SRO, Self-Reliance Outfitters website. I think Amazon might carry them too. I'm not sure, Anthony. Those are great. So if you're in a pinch real fast, you need to get that done. Those work great. I do like to the old school method of, using a ferro rod. We kind of can grow away from our skills over time if we don't use them. A lot of times you get a little rusty. So if I've got time, I'll use a ferro rod. If I don't have a whole lot of time, again, those little impregnated material Infernos, those work, or a lighter. Trying to think of anything else. You can get those brick logs. We use those a lot of times. The brick logs, I'm trying to think of the name of them. Duraflames. A lot of times if I'm going camping, I'll just bring a Duraflame with me if I'm in, if it's going to be dark soon and I'm trying to get my tent and everything up and I don't want to mess around with the fire and all that stuff. Just one of those Duraflame logs. You can get them really small. You don't have to get the huge ones, but they've got some smaller ones that you can get as well. Pastor TLC1, thank you for this and your videos. Pastor, thank you for being here, most importantly. I can put videos up all day long, but it doesn't mean anything if you guys don't watch them. So thank you for watching. And I look forward to you coming back out and watching some more videos. So I appreciate you. I carry a Bic ferro rod, and it's the Zippo lighter without gas chamber. Yeah, and homemade extender of a full cotton round coated in wax. Yeah, those are, I imagine, living in Alaska. The ferro rod thing for me, if I lived in Alaska, probably would be like the last thing I would have to use. I'm thinking possibly some of those, what are those matches? It's eluding my mind at the moment. Stormproof, made by Yuko. I couldn't think of the brand. They're stormproof matches. They will light underwater. I imagine if I lived in Alaska, that's probably what I would use every time. Thank you for your content and for being live for us to connect. Yeah, Anthony, thank you, buddy. Again, hopefully we can get together sometime this year and make it a day event or something. I don't know if I'd have time to do a full camp over for a couple of days or whatnot, but maybe a one-nighter or something at a state park. Maybe we can put something together. Or if you guys have a big scout event down there, Mike could come out for one of them and go from there. Yeah, we'll try to do some more of these live videos here soon, at least once a month if I can get around to it. So that would be outstanding. Yes, sir, absolutely. 8:34. So about 1 more minute here, and I'm going to jump off of here, guys and gals. Thank you so much for being here. Again, this was the first time I've gone live on YouTube. I'm going to start doing that a little bit more this year. Try to stay on for about an hour and some change, give or take here or there, depending on questions, comments, and things like that. Love comments, love questions. So, you know, if you come up with some things down the road you want to ask, we'll talk about it, and we'll chat about it, and that'll be great. So I look forward to this year. We've got a lot of cool things coming out, some new video stuff coming up here shortly and soon. And we're going to do some water purification stuff this year. I've kind of gotten immersed in that quite a bit. I've got 3 packs I picked up from Grail that I think you might be interested in seeing how they work with their gear. And that's going to be a couple videos, definitely a series of videos there on water purification. Nano Spark is what I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, the Nano Spark. There's a lot of really good different fire method creation out there for sure. So, all right, everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude this. I hope everyone has a great week. Monday, starting tomorrow at work. Don't forget to get outside. Don't forget to go on a hike this week sometime if you can. Even getting outdoors on your lunch break, and just going for a walk, taking that fresh air. That, you know, it's good for the body. Your lungs need that fresh air. You know, don't stay indoors all day long, and especially at work for 8 hours. You got to get outside and enjoy that fresh air. So I look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you so much for tuning in to this live stream, and thanks again. Have a great. Yep. Thank you, Pastor. We appreciate you guys. Have a good night and be safe. Yep. You too, Anthony. Look forward to more talking with you too, buddy. But everyone have a good night. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this fire for the next 20, 30 minutes and then get wrapped up for the evening. So we'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much. Take care.